Now, one of the candidates in this debate has consistently talked of the time we're in now as a crossroads for America. This man is, of course, Barack Obama, and no matter who you support in the election, this campaign has centered around him and his ideas. Now, this is unfortunate for us, given that the proposition is that this House would vote McCain, but nevertheless, please keep it in mind. Obama is the centerpiece of this election, unfortunately, no matter the proposition. That said, also keep in mind that the proposition says this House would vote McCain. That is, please try to think of yourselves as Americans as opposed to people who would support McCain. Now, Obama has taken the world by storm. Obama is a brilliant speaker, an amazing statesman, and has fantastic rhetoric. All the traits, one might say, of a demagogue. Unfortunately, Obama has failed consistently to prove anything conclusive in his time in office, missing, in fact, 46.3% of the votes during the current Congress. Moreover, even though he constantly accuses McCain of being a party conformist, voting another Bush, he says, voting 90% or 88% of the time with Bush, Obama himself has consistently voted with his party 96% of the time, following the Democratic Party line to the T. The man is a sheep, but a sheep who can speak well. Unfortunately, we don't need a rhetorical leader, especially at this crossroads. We need a practical leader, and that practical leader, after 30 plus, almost 40 years of service to his country, is John McCain. Now, when it comes down to distinct policies themselves, Obama has promised change, but when you look at the policies, you find, in fact, that the change he is promising is not one we want. A change from the top mountains of heaven down to the seventh layer of hell is not one you would necessarily want to go for. Unfortunately, that is what Obama is promising. There are two main areas of issues in this campaign: the fiscal and the foreign. And no matter what, you can talk about subdivisions within there: healthcare, Iran, Iraq, taxes. However, you can divide most of them into fiscal and foreign policies. And in both of those, Obama's suggestions for change prove disastrous. If you look, even though it has not been reported widely in the news, the current is coming out recently more and more that the current financial situation we are in right now is due not to Republican deregulation, a policy that worked fantastically, in fact, for years before Bush took office, but is due, in fact, to the proposal and the support of high-risk, low-income loans by Democratic congressmen over the last couple years. Fannie Mae was paying off, supporting, you know how American politics works, certain Democratic congressmen who consistently avoided successfully kept Republicans from keeping these low-income loans going forward. The very same pro-poor socialist policies that Obama is now advocating, as a matter of fact, led to the eventual collapse of Fannie Mae and the ousting of its chair, Franklin Raines, who, as a matter of fact, has been consulted, by the Obama campaign on fiscal policy. The Obama campaign, with $1 trillion worth of, who was talking about adding $1 trillion to the current national debt, and also it has promised not to raise taxes on 95% of the population, is talking about adding another $1 trillion to our to the country's debt. In foreign policy, we are currently talking about, right now, as we speak, a genocide system of pogroms in Iraq, against that country's Christians. Obama is talking about pulling out. McCain has constantly talked about using a sensible and reliable surge of troops in the region, which would prevent such atrocities. We whine about not going into Sudan, but when an issue is there we can handle, we ignore it and talk about pulling out. In conclusion, once more, Obama's policies of change are in fact only populist showboating in order to get him a vote that he wants. True, but with promises that he cannot deliver upon. McCain's policies have been consistent over the last 30 and 40 years and promise a consistent policy of success and peace with the states.
Nice. Thank you very much.
It takes a lot longer, I suppose, to make a bad argument. And John McCain has had 30 or 40 years to make a number of bad arguments, which he has continued to make. And our opponents seem to perpetuate that. You talk more, you get nowhere. But that's their approach. But I'll refrain from cheap shots, at least some of them. It would be very easy for me, and one of the easiest things I had to do today was go in the earlier sessions and say, "Go Obama," and I get an applause. That's easy, and you're right for applauding that because there's something there. But look, Obama is youngish. He's younger than me. I'm disappointed to say in a certain way. He's good looking. He's not quite white. He's a bit exotic in Atlantic College terms. He's eloquent, he's intelligent, he's thoughtful. In fact, all the things that John McCain is not. But what I want to say here, and genuinely is that you know, we could go about style, and we could go about who looks better and who's an old man and who's a younger dynamic figure, but I don't want to go that direction. I really do want to talk about why John McCain and this House should not consider the possibility of John McCain as president, not about style, but about substance. And this is really where the discussion gets serious, because it is a serious moment that we're all at. John McCain, as I say, is not the man for the moment, regardless of who may be, and I would certainly say Barack Obama is, but we're talking about John McCain. John McCain's foreign policy is abysmal. He talks about being in Iraq for, if it takes, as he says, 100 years, he's ready to do it. 100 years? So we want to be there in 2108? Good one, John. We'll be there. Sure, why not? That's a plan. That's wrong. He's wrong about Iran. He's wrong about Afghanistan. He talks about how his major big ideas, we will have this surge, and that seems to be working a little bit. Well, a bit of luck about the awakening that's happened amongst the various communities, the Sunni communities in Iraq. But all that is a bit of putting a Band-Aid on an open wound that was a big mistake, and I don't think anybody can disagree with that. Very few will. A few neoconservatives will. We could come back to foreign policy. Let's leave that one aside. That's supposed to be John McCain's great strong point. Pathetic. Economic policy. He's wrong again. He's wrong about economic policy. He talks about, letting Joe the plumber or whoever make $250,000 a year and not get taxed, and those who are wealthier than him, all the ones who have got us to this very fine economic position we're at, yep, they've done good. Good one, John. Support those who make loads of money, the so-called entrepreneurs, the so-called masters of the universe. Let's keep supporting them. Let's keep giving them tax breaks. Let's keep supporting the Bush agenda. That's good. That's where it got us to now. He's wrong on that. Decidedly wrong. I'm going to come back to that one as well. But he's also made a number of other fundamental judgment call wrong choices. Primarily, and let's get this right out in the open, he's made a disastrous, politically cynical, calculated decision to choose Sarah Palin as his vice president. Why? Why did he choose this woman? Well, political calculation. She would secure the Republican right-wing fundamentalist Christian base, and he hoped would entice the Hillary Clinton Democrats who were in the primaries against Obama to vote for a Republican ticket. Sarah Palin is so outrageously unqualified to step in John McCain's shoes should he become president and drop dead, as he's wont to do at 72 years old. Not that I'm ageist, but, would any organization appoint a CEO? I'm already down to 1 minute. That was quick. Anyway, so Sarah Palin, disastrous choice, shows how bad his judgment is. Sarah Palin and John McCain have run this campaign divisive, us versus them. They've reignited the culture wars. This is not what we need. We need a bit of unity, a bit of coming together, and something positive for the future. Something about transforming the world we're in, not just replicating it after 8 years of disastrous Bush politics. We need a real good